Tyler Reed, a gunsmith from small-town Tennessee, had spent years perfecting his craft and never once misjudged a firearm brought into his father's shop. So, when an elderly woman entered, carrying a rusted, cracked object wrapped in old canvas, he instantly dismissed it as worthless junk. He even laughed, confident in his assessment. Yet, Evelyn Carter didn't argue or flinch, her calm demeanor unwavering. Instead, she met his gaze and spoke for quiet words that would soon unravel everything he thought he knew. Check the serial number. The town of Harwick, Tennessee, was a quiet place, nestled between low ridge lines, rarely drawing attention or making the news. Most residents preferred this obscurity, with strangers typically passing through on Route 9, stopping only for gas before moving on. Those who remained knew every local by name and kept abreast of everyone's affairs, which suited their small-town sensibilities perfectly. Reed Precision Arms, Tyler's shop, was situated at the end of a gravel lot on Main Street, wedged between a bait shop and a struggling hardware store. The hand-painted sign above the entrance, though faded by 7 Tennessee summers, still clearly marked the family business, which had first belonged to Tyler's father. His father was a master, able to reassemble a 1903 Springfield blindfolded, treating every weapon with the respect it deserved. Tyler inherited the shop and its reputation. However, the profound patience his father possessed was a quality Tyler, at 26, hadn't quite acquired, despite his undeniable skill. Tyler's hands were steady, his eye precise, and he had an instinctive feel for metalwork that took most gunsmiths decades to develop, a fact he made sure everyone knew. Customers traveled from 3 counties away for his renowned restoration work on valuable pieces, from refinished Brownings to rebuilt Winchesters and Colts. But for Tyler, the craft had become a scoreboard. His interest waned for anything less than complex, shiny pieces, often dismissing items of mere sentimental value. His assistant, Liam Bauer, gently pointed this out once, but Tyler simply laughed it off, convinced his judgment was always correct. He was about to be proven wrong. A woman, likely in her late 70s, entered the shop. Her imposing height for her age was noticeable, moving with a deliberate, unhurried gait. She clutched a carefully wrapped object in a thick, cream-colored canvas, her composed face offering no clues as her eyes critically surveyed the room. Tyler watched her approach the counter and offered a standard, "Help you?" "I hope so," she replied calmly, then with both hands, gently placed the mysterious bundle onto the glass surface. Without a word of explanation, she began to meticulously unwrap the object, her actions deliberate and unrevealing. As the canvas fell away, revealing an old rifle, Tyler's initial reaction was a short, uncontrolled burst of laughter, escaping him before he could suppress it. The weapon was clearly ancient and neglected. Its wooden stock was deeply fractured, and the barrel was severely corroded with reddish-brown rust from muzzle to action. "I'm sorry," Tyler said, though his tone conveyed anything but regret, as he inquired, "Where exactly did you find this?" "My father's house," she stated, adding that her father was a man who believed in preserving things, even those others considered worthless. Liam had quietly appeared from the back, observing as Tyler, arms crossed, declared, "Ma'am, I don't want to be unkind, but this thing belongs in a museum trash bin." He gestured dismissively, explaining that the stock was likely irreparable, the barrel unsafe, and the action hidden beneath layers of rust, making restoration an impossible, costly endeavor. Yet, the woman remained completely still, her expression as steady as when she entered, giving Tyler the uncomfortable sense she had already anticipated his every word. "You didn't look at it," she calmly corrected him. "I looked at it. You glanced at it." Tyler, momentarily speechless, heard a faint, suppressed cough from Liam behind him, before reflexively picking up the rifle with unexpected care. He turned the firearm over in his hands, examining it, but nothing changed his initial impression until the woman stated, "Check the serial number." Tyler felt a surge of defiance. He'd already given his expert opinion and resented being told what to do by a customer with what he considered junk. Yet, the calm authority in her voice, devoid of pleading or demanding, made his resistance feel childish and unprofessional. Reluctantly, he turned the rifle to its receiver, where the serial number should be, and began gently cleaning away the thick rust with a cloth and oil. This wasn't an attempt at restoration, but merely an effort to reveal the markings beneath the corrosion. What slowly came into view was unlike any serial number he had ever encountered. It was distinctly odd. The inconsistent character spacing and varied engraving depth clearly indicated it had been carved by hand, not machine-stamped. Tyler had meticulously examined countless military surplus rifles, from Civil War carbines to World War I models, and was intimately familiar with every serial system and manufacturer code. But this rifle's markings defied all his knowledge, prompting an involuntary frown. Liam, who had leaned in to observe, noticed Tyler's expression and asked, "Something wrong?" Tyler quickly dismissed it, claiming it was likely just a botched factory stamp. However, Liam, peering intently through his reading glasses, firmly stated, "That's not a botched stamp." Tyler knew Liam's quiet expertise, honed by years in military history archives before becoming a gunsmith, meant his words carried significant weight. Liam pointed out, without touching, the deliberate changes in engraving depth mid-character and the intentional spacing of the prefix, confirming it was a careful, manual creation, not a factory error or a simple rebuild mark. A quiet tension settled in the shop until the woman's calm voice broke the silence. "Or you just don't know what you're looking at." Tyler shot her a sharp look. Her words were an unsettling echo of his own thoughts about her just moments earlier, and the reversal felt particularly jarring. He asserted, "I know what I'm looking at," but when she challenged him, "Then tell me what it is," he found himself without any real answer. Tyler acknowledged a disturbing truth. He had no clue what he was looking at, despite his vast experience and all available resources. He agreed to her unspoken terms. At the door, she turned back, the rifle still clutched in her hands, her voice calm and steady. She delivered a chilling parting message. "When you figure it out, you'll understand why people disappeared over it." With that ominous warning, she vanished, leaving only the faint jingle of the door and the fading sound of her footsteps. Tyler remained motionless, staring at the empty doorway, while Liam stayed silent beside him, observing. He then noticed the rifle wasn't gone. She had left it on a workbench, its corroded barrel glinting under the shop lights. His earlier amusement had completely evaporated. Hours later, the shop remained lit, Tyler having foregone going home to meticulously examine the rifle under a focused work lamp. For nearly 3 hours, he engaged in a careful, almost introductory study of the weapon, far beyond simple restoration. The usual peaceful quiet of the empty shop now felt oppressive, amplifying the strange pressure surrounding the rifle. The angled beam of the work lamp revealed previously unnoticed details beneath the rust, hidden in obscure areas like the receiver's underside or the stock space. These were not accidental flaws, but tiny, deliberate markings, placed with clear intent, far from standard proof stamps. Donning his magnifying visor, he saw the marks were not decorative or random, but a systematic, coded notation. Someone had meticulously applied these tiny symbols by hand, using specialized tools, clearly trying to keep their work hidden. Exhausted, Tyler turned to his extensive digital archives, including military surplus databases and collector networks, to identify the rifle. After 90 fruitless minutes, cross-referencing against every known system and declassified record, he found nothing. Officially, this rifle simply did not exist. Liam had arrived at the shop after receiving Tyler's cryptic photo of the rifle's serial number, to which he had only responded with 3 question marks. Letting himself in, Liam admitted he couldn't sleep, a sentiment Tyler echoed, as both men's gazes fixed on the mysterious rifle. Black Ops, Liam stated, not as a query but a thought-taking form, suggesting a covert military origin for the weapon. Tyler cautioned against such assumptions, though his voice lacked its usual conviction when discussing such weighty matters. "I'm not jumping anywhere," Liam insisted. "I'm saying the evidence points somewhere, and that's precisely where it leads." Liam then leaned over the rifle, meticulously examining the marks, confirming Tyler's 3-hour inspection. He concluded these were not standard manufacturer, proof, owner, or collector stamps, but an internal notation system for something not publicly documented. "That's wartime black operations behavior, or something very similar," Liam declared, straightening up, convinced of his assessment. Unable to provide even two alternative explanations when challenged by Liam, Tyler decided to seek a more experienced opinion. He would call Douglas Gregson, a 71-year-old military historian and private collector, whose house was a veritable library and armory. The next morning, Tyler sent Gregson a dozen high-resolution photos of the rifle's serial and its unique markings, then waited for his assessment. Gregson's voice, when he finally spoke, was flat and chilling. "Where did you get this?" Followed by an immediate, urgent command: "Destroy those photos." "Leave it alone, Tyler," Gregson's voice dropped, each word carefully chosen. "Put that rifle in a box. Give it back and don't ask questions." The line went dead, leaving Tyler in a shop that suddenly felt unnervingly small. Liam confirmed his suspicion. "So he recognized it?" "Yeah." "And he told you to stop?" "Yeah, which means we're not stopping." Later that afternoon, Evelyn Carter returned, her steady gaze fixed on Tyler. "You called someone," she stated, not as a question but a knowing observation. Evelyn returned sooner than Tyler expected, entering with her usual calm demeanor, and silently observed him. Her gaze was intense, as if evaluating his trustworthiness, and she stated, with certainty, "You made a call." Tyler confirmed, "Yes, to a historian, a contact of mine. I hoped he could decipher the serial number system, but he just told me to quit." Evelyn slowly nodded, as if his words only confirmed her suspicions, then asked, "So, what did you do next?" Tyler replied, "I continued investigating." A subtle change, not quite a smile but an acknowledgement, crossed her face. She then moved to the rifle, observing it under the lamp without touching it. Her gaze on the weapon was deep and somber, like someone viewing a grave, filled with a long-held sorrow that had mellowed into a quiet acceptance. After a moment, she revealed, "My father carried this rifle, but it was never officially issued to him." Tyler, confused, pressed, "What do you mean it wasn't issued?" She clarified, "It was never logged or processed through supply. Officially, he never possessed it." When Tyler asked how his father acquired it, she didn't answer directly, instead asking, "How long did your father own this shop?" Surprised by the change of topic, Tyler explained his father built and ran the shop for over 30 years. She then asked, "Did he ever teach you the true value of things beyond mere money?" Tyler recalled his father's respect for old tools and his belief that some tasks are done simply because they are necessary, not for profit. "Yes, he did," Tyler confirmed softly. Evelyn nodded in agreement, explaining her own father believed that memory and reality are distinct. He felt this rifle was the sole honest record of his true involvement. What exactly was he involved in? Tyler pressed. After a silence, Evelyn stated, "The man who possessed this rifle before my father never officially existed." Tyler froze as her calm words hit him with profound weight, recalling Gregson's unnerving, flat tone and his immediate command to destroy the photos. The non-existent serial, deliberate markings, and the rifle's history, a weapon carried by men who officially didn't exist, converged. "Who was he?" Tyler asked. Evelyn replied, "That question has cost lives." Liam remained thoughtful for a moment. Then Tyler connected the dots. The rifle's anonymous giver and the individual who silenced Gregson belonged to the same covert world. "This is more than just an undocumented rifle," Liam declared. "No, I don't believe it is anymore," Tyler agreed, the gravity of the situation sinking in. He returned to his workbench, pulling the lamp closer as he reached for his tools. Regardless of its past, or who had carried it on unrecorded missions, the rifle was undeniably real and present. Beneath the rust, worn wood, and unique hand-carved markings lay a hidden history. Someone had gone to great lengths to ensure this story would never be discovered, a thought that now sobered Tyler completely. The next morning dawned cold and gray, a typical October day in Harwick. After only 4 hours of restless sleep, Tyler was back at the shop by 6:15 a.m. He brewed coffee, unlocked his workbench, and positioned the rifle under the lamp once more. He didn't immediately touch it, instead sitting opposite, observing it with newfound respect. He now saw it not as a problem to solve, but as an artifact with its own complex history and inherent significance. This perspective was entirely new for him, and he recognized the shift. Before Liam arrived, Tyler began his deep dive. Consumer databases yielded nothing, and Gregson had fallen silent. so Tyler accessed a partially declassified NARA archive. This gray area access, shared by a former Army collector years ago, had only been used twice for legitimate research. Now, the rifle's mystery demanded its third use. He started by searching serial prefix formats, then caliber and action type, hoping to pinpoint the rifle's origin decade. While several possibilities emerged, none matched its unique notation. Shifting his strategy entirely, he began searching the periphery. Unofficial units, unrecorded operations, and military activities appearing only as redacted blocks or administrative absences in declassified files. He unearthed fragments, not answers, numbered soldiers, mission designations mentioned once and never again, and supply requests for non-standard gear that had been retroactively erased. By Liam's 8 a.m. arrival, Tyler had printed 11 pages, spreading them across the back desk. Liam silently perused them, then pulled up a stool and donned his glasses. Ghost units, Liam stated. That's what it's pointing to, Tyler confirmed, adding, but not just any ghost units. Liam picked up a 1960s report detailing a personnel designation system Tyler didn't recognize. Liam recalled a researcher named Aldrich who wrote about it, though the paper was mysteriously pulled from publication. Liam explained that these personnel were specifically chosen for their expendability, making their disappearance untraceable, not just undocumented. A profound silence filled the room as Tyler absorbed the chilling implication. Selected because their loss wouldn't stir any official inquiry or public outcry. His gaze fell upon the rifle, and Tyler imagined Evelyn's father wielding it through the grim operations hinted at, a new, heavy feeling settling in his chest. They chose those who wouldn't be missed, Tyler stated. Minorities, Liam added, his tone factual rather than accusatory, which only amplified the horror of the reality. They were outsiders, individuals with no political connections, whose vanishing would simply be recorded and then permanently forgotten. Liam removed his glasses, cleaning them as he summarized the chilling strategy. Keep the unit secret by ensuring no one would ever investigate their disappearances. After a moment of reflection, Tyler turned back to the rifle. He had been meticulously restoring it, careful to uncover its secrets without causing further damage. He took up a soft brass brush and cloth, returning to the barrel's underside where, the previous night, he'd noticed an unusual mark near the muzzle. Working with precision, he brushed away the rust, revealing dark, aged steel beneath. As a distinct mark emerged from the oxidation, a shiver ran down Tyler's spine. This wasn't a standard stamp. It was a small, deliberate symbol, etched into the metal, a circle with a broken line, followed by 3 enigmatic characters. Liam, Tyler called. Liam examined the mark, then confirmed, an unofficial unit insignia, a way to track equipment when standard serialization isn't possible. He concluded, this rifle belonged to a unit that operated completely off the grid. Tyler set aside the brush, contemplating the person who had meticulously etched that symbol, perhaps the only lasting evidence of their existence. His thoughts were interrupted by the chime of the shop door. A man in his mid-40s, athletic and impeccably dressed for the wrong kind of weather, stood inside, clearly not a regular customer. The man, with a practiced smile, inquired about non-standard acquisitions, specifically unregistered pre-Vietnam military items. Tyler, maintaining a neutral facade, denied having such pieces. Anything unregistered, undocumented, with unusual markings, he promised, I'd pay very well. The story of Evelyn's father, and countless others, is just beginning. What do you think happened next? Share your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold histories.